Hi. Okay, so we have talked about oceans with Bill Nye. Well, we didn't really talk to Bill Nye, but we watched his video and we answered some questions about the video, and then we took some vocabulary. Okay, so today we're going to start talking about the ocean floor and what it looks like and what the different parts are. Okay, and just remember that even though we're making a picture of what the ocean floor looks like, the entire ocean, it varies where you're at. Okay, so it looks a little different depending on where you are at in the ocean. All right, so get some paper and then you're going to draw this picture and take down some notes, and when you're finished, just remember to put it in your binder under the science tab. All right, I also want to say that I can't draw. I do my best, but I'm not very good at it. All right, so I'm going to start off, and I've got our paper right here, or my paper. I'm going to make a little bit more room. All right, so write ocean floor. And I'm going to start with like the beach area, okay? And then I'm going to come down. All right. Okay, I always have to look at my picture from the year before so I don't miss anything. Okay. And then we'll label all this in just a second. I told you I can't draw. But you know what? I do my best. All right, it's hard to fit it all on a little page. So let me, I gotta zoom out a little bit. All right, so that, y'all, is my ocean floor. And that's beautiful. All right, so just make sure to draw that first, and then we will label it. Okay, so I'm going to also put in some water. Because this little thing right here sticks out of the water. All right, I'm going to draw a person, well, laying on the beach, and maybe that person's playing in the beach, okay? All right, so the first part of this video, or these lessons, is the continental shelf. So the continental shelf is right here. And I like to remember it because it holds people, okay? So if you think about like a shelf, like my bookshelf right here, it's holding my books. Well, the continental shelf holds people while you're standing on it. Now, the continental shelf goes a couple miles from the shoreline, and then it just sort of, the ocean floor just drops down. But the continental shelf is a good way to remember that this is where most of the life that lives in the ocean lives, and it is a place where people can visit the shoreline, because that's still considered the continental shelf. So I'm going to say that it holds people. So maybe that will help us remember that the continental shelf holds people, just like a bookshelf holds books. Okay. All right. And as we go down, okay, so like I said, you go a couple miles, and then the continental shelf, it stops, and then it starts to slope down. So that would be called the continental slope. Okay. It slopes down. And it can be sudden, but it's not necessarily have to be a very sudden drop off. All right, then let's do this one first. Okay, so the flat part of the ocean is called the abyssal plain. Okay. I'm going to put above it flat bottom. Or I'll say part. Flat part. All right, so the continental slope and then the abyssal plain, where it meets, okay, that's called the continental rise. Okay. It's a meeting point. Oops. All right. These are like the mountain ranges under sea. So there are in the Atlantic Ocean, when you go between the United States and Europe, there are the mid-Atlantic Ocean ridges, and that's a pretty big mountain range under sea. But we just need to know that these are called mid-ocean ridges. They're just a mountain range underwater. Okay. Then a seamount. It's beautiful, I know. But this is called a seamount. Okay. Now, a lot of things like this are created by lava that escapes from the earth or from the center of the earth, and it comes out. And as the lava comes out, it cools. Okay, and it cools as land formations. So seamounts are sort of like an island, and most islands, all islands, were created from. I guess I won't say all, but most islands were created by magma or lava that has escaped and cooled and then hardened, because it cools once it hits the water and then it hardens. And that's what a seamount or an island would be. It's just a part of land that has been created, like I said, from magma that is completely surrounded by water. All right. And then the last one right here, this is a trench. Now, trenches are vary. Okay, so trench just means that it goes down. So we're going to say the deepest part of the ocean. I'm running out of room. Part of the ocean. Okay. So there's a trench that I think I know Bill and I talked about it yesterday, the Mariana Trench. It is thousands and thousands of meters down to the ocean floor. And some are not explored because they are so deep. And we can't go into the ocean that deep because of all the pressure. So they have to send robots. And that's why there's so much of the ocean that is unexplored, because they just don't know what's there because it is so big. All right. Okay, so that is your very beautiful diagram of the ocean floor. All right. I'm going to draw a little boat. Might as well make this pretty, right? Okay. So that's the ocean floor. And now I want to go on and add a little bit about each part. Okay, but I'm going to just do this on a separate sheet of paper so that our diagram doesn't get too overwhelmed with writing on it. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say that the continental shelf okay, it begins at the shore. All right. And it has, well, I'm not going to have that. And okay, so it begins at the shore and then slopes to an average depth of about 430 feet. Okay, and again, it's an average, so it's not going to be like that all of, oh, I'm not sure what I just did, around the ocean. Well, I think I just took a picture of our work. Yes, I did. All right. Oh, okay. Okay, so then, sorry about that. Well, I did it again. Okay, there we go. I have started this video a couple times, so I'm just going to keep going even though that just happened. Okay, then we're going to have the continental slope. And this plunges from the continental shelf down about over 2 miles. Okay. So this area is covered, this is covered with thick layers of sand, mud, and rocks. Okay. All right, now we have the continental rise. These pins are very squeaky. Okay, so this is the sloping area that connects to the abyssal plain. So this connects and I'm just going to say slope to the abyssal plain. All right. And it also is covered with sand, mud, and rocks. All right. And then we have the abyssal plain. Okay. This is the flat area of the ocean floor. And I know I'm going fast, but you guys can pause the video when you need to. All right. All right, I'm going to say seamounts. All right, and these are formed by underwater volcanoes. And from the cooling of the magma or the lava. All right, and then ocean trenches. Okay. These are just deep parts of the floor that dive down. Oops. Okay, and I'm going to add on here that the Marianas Trench is 36,198 feet. Deep. So just to put it in a little bit of perspective, if you've ever heard of the Grand Canyon, it is the deepest part of the Grand Canyon is 5,300 feet. And then you think about that trench that is 36,000 feet. So that is pretty deep. And then, a mile is around 5,000 feet. And just think about how many miles that would be. Okay. All right. So that is the ocean floor vocabulary and diagram. And just make sure that you put this in your binder, but use this because you're going to need it on your activity. You can use it on your activity. Thank you.